Way that this happened was Marty Gross, who's the assistant head coach over there. He and I were at Rice together, and I was making $161 a month to work at Rice. I made $2,000 stipend for the year. In order to get it, I had to paint 1,261 steps twice with white paint. And Marty Gross bought me lunch every single day at Chick-fil-A, like premium lunches here. This wasn't like four tacos for 99 cents kind of stuff. And just really helped out me. And when he told me that they were looking for a game, I'm really glad it fit. You worry sometimes about how your players approach a game like this. I thought we approached it well. To be honest with you, we experimented the first 15 minutes with a formation and wasn't really trying to execute things that we had practiced. We kind of practiced. We had a 1 day prep. So we kind of only practiced this for a single day. Wanted to look at some things from a formation standpoint in order to organically be able to take advantage of when people deny KG and get post touches. And, a very common set that I've actually been able to have some success with when I was at Oral Roberts. So kind of just looked into it after 15 minutes. I think it was a 6 or 8 point lead. We just wasn't getting the value. So we kind of went back to what we normally do. But I think strategically from a defensive standpoint, we didn't really scheme this game. If you play a team like this, what you do, in my opinion, if you just want to win and win big, is you just switch 1 through 5 and you kind of just make those guys make plays and see if they don't have ability in order to do so. But didn't do that. Kind of changed pick and roll coverages at the 12-minute mark. And in the last 5 minutes, we switched pick and roll coverages. But I thought our guys handled it well. I told them prior to the game that nobody was going to play more than that everybody's going to be around the 20-ish mark. So KG at 24, KB at 23, Will at 21. Drake could go for days. He wasn't really under a minute restriction. So to get everybody to be able to around that 20-minute mark after 3 games in 3 days. And I'm happy for Mike just being able to see the ball go in. Same with Brian. So.
Kind of explain that formation experiment?
Yeah, I mean it looks like a T, and so I think some people call it 3 across. It's just there's 3 with your big at the rim, and kind of give your point guard a chance off of a rub at up high off of your 4 to attack an elbow, and then you're just gonna try to duck in wherever that big is. If Dre has a layup when he gets in the game, just because Will turns around and ducks in, and what you're really trying to do is look more high low. Michael, the opening play, goes left, ends up throwing it, and it's a turnover. But that's a little different simply because the pass to the post has to be a bounce pass. It's not an air pass. He throws an air pass, ends up being a turnover. But yeah, you're just trying to get those guards to play in space on people who go under, how people defend it. If they're back, you're going short roll with TJ and Jarrett and Dylan, and at the same time trying to get organic post touches. And then we can kind of just flow into something else. So it's really just a formation in order to get everybody away from the ball and see if we can't utilize the physicality of our bigs to get something for them or somebody going downhill. Noah, just again, I thought his approach. Noah, like we shoot free throws at the end of every practice, and um, we give you 15 minutes to make 10 in a row. He's usually doing push-ups at the end of 15 minutes. You can't do it. He's usually the only one in the gym. There was one day I stood in here for north of 2 hours, and until he got his 10 in a row. So for him to go on the 1-and-1, 2 for 2, he's relentless, right? His rebounds per minute are through the roof on a team like that. But 5 rebounds, 5 minutes. He just approaches it the right way. That day that I was with him here for more than 2 hours, he sent me this long text message at like 8 and just said thank you. And you just appreciate people who, what, I'm not going to turn around and just stop because I didn't get it. Like I'm going to keep fighting through. And because we told them it got to be like 8 o'clock at night. And I was like, Noah, that's good. We can just do this tomorrow. And he said, no, I'm going to get it. And then at like 9:15, you're like, dang it. I don't know if we should have let him carry on like this. I got things to do. We got games to prep for, but really just happy for Noah because he approaches this the right way. He asked to meet yesterday and he just came in and we have a development plan for every month. And he said, can we go over this development plan and talk through it? He's a phenomenal kid, going to be a phenomenal player.
Did you get what you wanted out of that first half, or was it kind of like?
Yeah, not really. I mean, the 8 threes, it's a little too much. Just didn't really understand personnel. I don't want to be disrespectful to Mount Marty, but didn't really we paid attention. We presented a scout, but it wasn't like normal. That we need to find a way to win away from Cokerina. And so there's been a lot of attention paid to Northern Iowa moving forward and paying attention to us. Like what are the things? So really tonight was about us more so than an opponent. But I think we got answers, there in the first half. Like, I mean, scrap that. That stuff doesn't work. But I don't know that it always works better in your brain than it does on the court. And that was the case the first 15 minutes.
I was curious, like your opinion on was tonight productive? Like, did the team get better tonight?
Yeah, again, we need to see Mike need to see the ball go in, and so that happened. Brian needed to see the ball go in. I think KB needs to continue to be able to make corner threes. I think there's elements of tonight that we'll be able to take away, and for us to be able to shift midstream after 15 minutes. To be honest with you, I was going into this trying to use the whole game, trying to play out of that formation, but it was obvious that we just weren't really comfortable in it. And again, I mean, we practiced it for all of an hour and change. So all that to say, I think there's value in it. I mean, we're off tomorrow, but I think there's value in guys seeing the ball go in, and then getting nobody really playing more than 20 minutes. I think a game like that probably this time of year, 3 games in 3 days, is get more mileage out of that sometimes than you would have practice.
You feel like you talked about the care factor, the Bahamas, and everything like that.
Yeah.
The non-XNOs part of it. Do you think that they showed up the way that you wanted them to in practice and in the?
Yeah, I mean, practice Sunday was good. Practice yesterday was good. Again, I didn't think tonight how we came out and looked a little sluggish and that we're a little unsure of ourselves. That was on me. That was us again trying to experiment with something. But this is a really mature group. We were talking as a staff, and we've been a part of teams when you play these non-D1 games. I mean, I go back to a year ago. It was 20-20 at some point, and it was honestly a game for some of the second half there, and I just didn't think we approached it, and so was really worried about the after Christmas game. I knew I wasn't going to play games again after Christmas like that. Like if we're going to do it, it's going to be after the MTE. So I do just how they approached it. I mean, could we have shot 12 of 24 clean looks? Thought guys were making shots, and again, I got what I wanted out of it.
For Brian to score back-to-back post points after he was so smart.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good player. I mean, he's a little young, and sometimes his stuff makes decisions. What he knew how upset we were after fouling that 3-pointer in front of our bench, because the truth is we showed multiple clips of this today of it happening, not only in practice, but how you penalize. Again, I think if you're fouling a 3-point shooter, it is the most moronic play in basketball. If you think about it, these guys turn around and shoot 84%. So if you think about a play like that, and just, I mean, that's a 2.52 play. It's a ridiculous point per possession number. If most teams are shooting 70%, it's a 2.1 play. And so it's the most moronic play in basketball, and we've got to stop avoiding it. But more importantly, he's got to get outside the body. he handled that. I was gonna pull him. I decided not to, and I thought he handled it well. Because some guys will over there like, holy cow, he's pretty upset with me, and it'll impact him for the next 5 minutes. But he moved on pretty quickly.
Is it stuff like that that's kind of holding him back from a bigger role?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
The first he like had 11 points at half at that
Hmm.
Bahamas game. Can
Hmm.
you explain like why doesn't he play after half? Is it just stuff like that he's got to clean up?
No, yeah. I mean, like at the end, you have to trust them defensively, and we have a lot of trust in Karan right now. It's either Karan or it's Brian. I mean, they're subbing in for one another, and when games are on the line, you're going to go with your more experienced guys. So for us, it was Karan. And so he filled in the gaps mainly because Mike and Dre had 2 fouls. He's plenty capable offensively, and he gets a steal in that, going back to that game against Western Kentucky, he gets a steal, gets the dunk, and then the very next play, he just tries to get another steal rather than being solid. So then 12 gets it because he takes himself out of the play. They make a jump shot, and it's those little things like that where your discipline just isn't what it needs to be in order to be trusted in really tight games.
That come down to just him being young and inexperienced.
So some of it, again, our players have heard me say this. I mean, 5 times a day. There's a lot of people that play basketball. There's just very few of them that play winning basketball, and we have to play winning basketball. And I think Michael right now, or Michael, uh, this situation with Brian, Brian's got to understand what winning basketball and the plays that look like. And he has flashes, but when you're around him every day, you realize that sometimes he can kind of be a space cadet and just start floating. He did it today in shoot around, and you kind of got to remind him about what's happening.
And just like the focus in practice, like you said, another tough one on Saturday away from home.
Yeah.
What's the message? What are you really going to be harping on these next couple of days to make sure you guys learn from the Bahamas?
Yeah, again, those are all 1 and 2 possession games in the Bahamas, and I can all go back to discipline issues. We're not going to get on you over missed shots. We'll get over on you shot selection. Missed shots happen. We're not going to let missed shots define us. We are going to respond the right way. We're going to let that define us. And so I just think that there's discipline issues and us not responding the right way when certain things happen that have to get answered. And if you look at the previous years, we played 4 games, either neutral or away. So that combination 3 during the month of November, 4 in the month of November last year. So this is kind of par for the course, and you got to learn from this stuff, and you got to move on pretty quickly. So it's understanding the value of every possession as we go into this Northern Iowa game.
I guess value because those 3 losses had down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I know, we don't like it. We're obviously extremely disappointed, but there's tremendous value there. Like you have to get exposed like that. You have to understand how teams are defending you. In order to make sure this is not happening in February. So there's tremendous value there. You don't enjoy it, but if you just watch it, how Western Kentucky played and to where they're basically daring some people to shoot, and then at the same time taking out KG and going through all of that. Those are lessons you have to learn in November. I'm glad we got exposed like that because you can come back and learn. I wish we could have done it obviously through winning, but we that there's a ton of growth to be had. I went back and looked. In 2016, I was at Baylor and we won that tournament. And just talked to people. That following year, I remember watching the 7th place game. It was Purdue versus Arizona, and Purdue ends up beating Arizona to go 1-2 in the battle for Atlantis. And Purdue was a Sweet 16 team that year. They had 30 wins. Arizona was a 27 win team. If you go look at it, 3 of the 4 teams that went 0-3 there during that stretch, they were all NCAA teams. And you go back, and it's like there's value there if you'll learn from these experiences. So from us, some of it were systematic challenges. Some of it was our approach at Colorado State first half. So I think those things have been addressed, and we'll see how we respond when next time those things come up.
You mentioned November
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of you may have seen the net rankings, and so you just understand that, man, we're getting quad one and quad two opportunities, and we need to capitalize on them. And so I kind of think of December as a precision month. Like you have to be way more precise in defensive and offensive schemes, and there's plenty of Q1 and Q2 opportunities here moving forward.